AITA. Am I the a-hole for walking out on a blind date because the woman was very overweight? To make a long story short, a club at my university was doing this blind date program where you enter preferences via their website, and they have a matchmaking team that finds the best potential date. It's in their beta phase, so normally it would cost something, but they want feedback, so they actually offer gift cards for doing it. My friends did it and got the gift cards, and I figured, hey, whatever. I'll go have dinner with someone for basically free, when you factor in the gift card. I entered my preferences, and the key thing to note is that I put down I'm into fitness and healthy lifestyles. You can't put what you don't like, you just put what you like. I basically let them know I was looking for someone that enjoyed living healthy like I do. So basically, I submitted my form and they told me what restaurant I would be going to, and we both confirmed, and we showed up at the designated time. I show up to the restaurant a few minutes early, and I see an obese woman sitting at the table. My heart sunk. I was completely and utterly disgusted. I'm not talking thirsty or a tad overweight, or out of shape. No, this woman had an eating disorder. I immediately walked out of the restaurant and sent a text to her saying last minute, I couldn't go to the restaurant. I didn't tell her why or follow up with anything else. She never responded. I felt horrible. I didn't turn my survey in, and I didn't collect my $20 gift card. When they asked me why I didn't want to do the feedback and get my gift card, I simply told the dude, you guys set me up with an obese woman, and I walked out. I was mostly embarrassed but also angry, disappointed, and overall exhausted with the whole situation. YTA. You're the a-hole. You're allowed to have a preference and type, but you stood someone up who made time to meet you. You could have at least had a conversation and told her you weren't interested. You signed up for a blind date, it wasn't like you were misled. YTA. You're the a-hole. You didn't have to marry the poor girl or even ever see her again. You couldn't take an hour out of your obviously busy and important life to get to know another human being? Honestly, I'm speechless. Good luck to you. Dear goodness, YTA. So much YTA, on so many levels. 1. You were doing this for one evening, totally free. All you had to do was sit down, have a meal, and then politely text, hello, it was nice meeting you, but I didn't feel a spark. Have a lovely life. 2. You cannot judge someone because they look how they look. You cannot decide someone has an eating disorder. You cannot size up someone and then make snap assumptions about their life. 3. Plenty of people who are obese have a very, very hard time getting into fitness exactly because they meet skinnier people telling them it isn't possible for them to be into healthy living and scaring them off. Chances are, she actually is into a healthy lifestyle. ETA. Guys. Nobody is saying he had to fancy her and keep dating her. Nobody is saying he isn't allowed to find one body time rather than another attractive. I am saying, he's the a-hole for walking out on a blind date this woman didn't set up, for an experiment he had volunteered for, thus wasting everyone's time. Plus, that he has no business diagnosing strangers with eating disorders. YTA. You volunteered for a blind date. You didn't have to marry this person, or even touch them. Are you so shallow that you can't have fat friends? You can't even figure out how to make conversation with a fellow human being for 45 minutes. Wow. Just. Wow. It's not like she lied to you, or sent pics that were misleading. You treated her like her time, and her value, is lesser because of her weight. You are an a-hole, and you should feel bad. Frocket, going against the majority. NAH. No a-holes here. She did nothing wrong, so cannot be the a-hole. The system setting it up is in its infancy, so cannot be the a-hole, but also why should you do something against what you want to do? If you would not have set up a date with this person knowing this information, I think it is perfectly reasonable to nope the frock out when you get there. Yes, I know that is the whole point of a blind date, but blind dates usually take into account elements such as, are you vaguely compatible, which judging from your lifestyle and hers, a big hell no. A lot of people bashing you saying you shouldn't be so shallow, or that you should have given her your time. I get the first bit, don't necessarily agree, but why should you volunteer your time for a date with someone you already have less than zero interest in, and unless you are in the market to make new friends, why should you spend the evening chatting with someone you have no intention of speaking to again? Ghosting is a bit of an a-hole move, sure, however I think it is better than showing disinterest during or after the date. Making a quick excuse and dipping seems like the least harmful of exits. I don't know, downvote or whatever. If OP is an a-hole, so am I, as I'd totally do the same. OP is not an a-hole for not being interested in her, but based on what he wrote here it seems like he is an a-hole for being disgusted by her, angry that the blind date service set them up as if that would be so out of the question, and assuming there is something wrong with her, i.e. assuming she has an eating disorder. I get him wanting someone that shares his values of fitness, but his view of overweight people are belittling. And again, it's not because he's not interested in her. Most people who get set up with someone they're not attracted to, would just chalk it up to it being a blind date. YTA. You clearly state in your text that to you this was just a free dinner, you did not expect the woman of your dreams there, you wanted food. Then you get disgusted by another person's weight and run out? Why couldn't you have this free dinner with her? Just casually socialize like a person? I think it's immature and disrespectful, and you wasted both her time and yours because you apparently cannot socialize with fat people. NAH. No a-holes here from an overweight woman. I know I'm going to get downvoted to oblivion here. The program is the a-hole honestly. You wanted someone who is living a healthy lifestyle, that was your only criteria. The program set you up with an incompatible partner. That's not your fault, and that's not her fault. You didn't waste her time, and you didn't ghost her. You texted her immediately and told her you weren't coming. Ghosting would be not messaging her at all and leaving her there to wonder. As an overweight woman, I'd hate to have dinner with someone who clearly wasn't into me, or worse, misread all the signals and think this person is into me, just to be immediately hurt. I'd rather have the pleasure of thinking you're an a-hole for leaving, than to be hurt because you actually are an a-hole for telling me you didn't like me. Ignorance is bliss. But I do have to ask, how did you know it was her you were set up with? How do you know that woman wasn't there to eat dinner alone? NAH. Sure, you may be the a-hole in some eyes, but specifically putting preferences of someone who is into fitness, and lives a healthy lifestyle than getting matched with an obese woman would turn anyone off. You definitely didn't handle the situation properly, but also is there a proper way of telling someone, hey, I don't like you cause you're fat? I think not. Clearly gonna be the minority here, but NAH. I can't understand the multitude of comments I read saying you weren't misled. A preference for someone healthy and fit, followed up with a very obese woman is what I would call being misled. Someone stated that maybe she is into health and whatnot. That's fine and dandy, but let's be frocking realistic. You're looking for someone who is attractive, and also desirable to be around. From a male perspective, I'd be willing to go out on a limb and say, 100% of guys who say they're into health and fitness are not obese. Her interests to be better are admirable, and she deserves all the support in the world. However, you're looking for a prospective partner now, not after you help them achieve an extremely difficult life goal. It's a partner, not a life coach. Simply put, you didn't do anything wrong. Anyone who says you should have sat down anyway, must be a way nicer person than I would ever be. You didn't waste her time, both of your times were wasted. You decided to save the rest of the time you would have wasted. No one owed anything here, and I can't gather how sitting down for a while would have made it any better.